Hey YouTube, back with another knife review here. This time we're jumping into the EDC world. This is arguably one of Benchmade's most famous EDC blades, and this is the Griptilian. So as always, we'll start off with the specs, talk about the blade, the handle, and then I'll give you my recommendations. So let's jump right into this thing. Specs on this bad boy: the blade comes in just under 3.5 inches. Handle length just over 4.5 inches, bringing the overall length to right at 8 inches. The handle thickness on this guy says 0.64 inches, and blade thickness is 0.12 inches, and the overall weight is 3.82 ounces. So now that we've run through some of the basic specs, let's talk about the blade a little bit. One of the nice things about this knife is that Benchmade offers this knife in a variety of blade shapes and blade styles. So if you're a fan of the drop point, they also have, if you're not a fan of the drop point, they also have a sheep's foot blade and a tanto blade. So it makes it nice that you can choose the knife that fits your style and what you're going to be using the knife for. Now this is an older version of the knife, so it has an older steel that Benchmade was using at the time. This is 154 cm. However, since then, Benchmade has upgraded their steel on this knife so that all models are now using S30V. So if you get a new one, you're going to get an upgraded steel, S30V, and I have no complaints with other knives that I have that are S30V. However, if you get an older model like this, you might be able to find it for cheaper, and I haven't had any issues with 154 cm. Not saying that it's as good of a steel as S30V, because it isn't. However, as you can see, I've had this knife for a couple years. There really is no rust on this knife. Jump into the handle here. Similar thing with the handle as with the blade. Benchmade offers the handle color in a variety of colors. So I picked the orange because I was going to be using this knife for a camp knife. However, if you want a black one so it's a little bit more discreet in your pocket, they offer that. They also offer colors such as green, a tan, blue, gray. Really, the sky's the limit as far as customization on this knife. Talking about the handle a little bit more here, if you are a lefty, you notice that there is the option to reverse the clip, which is always nice. Furthermore, with Benchmade Axis Lock, you can actually actuate the knife with either hand by just pulling down the Axis Lock. This one right here is sporting a deep carry pocket clip. However, this doesn't come standard from Benchmade. You actually have to either buy one or ask them to send you one. It comes with their standard clip, but I swapped that out for the deep carry because that's what I prefer. As you can see, this knife is on the thicker side. I'll bring in some comparisons here for thickness. This is the Benchmade bug out, so you can see much thicker than a bug out is. This is Benchmade's 940, so thicker than the 940. And then this is the Ontario Rat 2, so thicker than the Rat 2 even. That being said, the handle does have a good feel in your hand. I have medium-sized hands. Fits my hand really well. I find that the jimping at the top here with the slight thumb ramp is nice. There's also some jimping at the bottom and pretty aggressive texturing on the side. However, it's not aggressive to the point where it hurts your hands, but I don't find that this knife is ever going to slip out of my hands when I'm using it. So I do find that the holding it in your hand, it's really comfortable. As you might have also noticed, this does have a lanyard hole, so if you want to put a lanyard loop through it and attach it to a backpack or something, carry it that way, then by all means you can. They also have versions that are not plastic like this, but G10. However, you're going to pay a little bit more for those. As well as there's many different scale makers who make aftermarket scales for this knife. So as I mentioned before, you can really customize this. And that's one of the great things about this knife, whether it be the blade, the handle material, the handle color, you can really customize this knife. In fact, Benchmade has a customization center on their website where you can go pick your blade style you want, pick the blade color, pick the handle material, handle color. You can get engravings if you want. So if you do like this knife, then by all means go for it and customize your own. However, to me, once you start doing that, you kind of get out of the price point that this knife is really intended for. And so now that we're talking about price, I'll kind of jump into my recommendation here. To me, I'm a fan of smaller profile knives, so more along the 940 or bug out style, and also lighter knives. So I find that I personally don't carry this in my pocket as much, and you might have noticed that this clip doesn't have much wear on it, and that's because generally I'd rather be carrying another knife that's a little bit slimmer profile and also lighter. So that's my personal preference. If you are a fan of bigger knives, then by all means, I think this is a great choice. The price point on this knife comes in just at or just over $100. So for S30V steel and for a comfortable knife in the hand and a knife that's going to really stand up to some abuse and use, I think this is a great option. However, if you are a fan of smaller knives, then I'd say this knife probably isn't for you. They do have a mini version that I'll be doing a review here of soon, the mini Griptilian, so maybe go to the store and check one of those out. But with that being said, hopefully this might have cleared up some questions you have with the Griptilian, maybe answered or showed you some of the ergonomics that you might be concerned about. And going forward, let me know what other knives I should review. Have some ideas coming up, but if there's something you really want to see, then leave a comment below. So, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.